Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a extensive booming guide, pretty much all the booming secrets, how to get to 200 population in the fastest and most efficient way possible, how to develop your economy, how to play the pocket position in team games, how to freely boom, all the good stuff. Basically just how to play Age of Empires 2 when it comes to economy. We're going to be doing all of the tricks and tips you might need, covering everything, covering when to get eco upgrades, all the good stuff. And I'm actually recording this video because I had promised on one of my other videos on YouTube that I was going to release my booming guide that I made for Patreon a year ago. I went to go find that video. It turns out I deleted it by accident. But since I already promised it, I'm going to go ahead and redo it. The same style. It's unedited, 30 minutes in depth, which is usually what my Patreon guides are. And the reason why I don't post them to YouTube is because it allows me to go more in depth. No clickbait titles like on YouTube, no edits, and it's for a specific group of people that are invested in trying to get better. However, for this one specifically, this is more like a general video that can benefit a wide host of people. So this is the perfect one to also throw on YouTube. And so here it is. We're gonna go ahead and get started and check it out. So basically the premise is like this. We're going to go against Extreme AI just to show you guys the timings that they're hitting and whatnot. And if they attack us, we could even try to mix in a defense. We're going to be doing on Arena because that's where the pure booming usually happens. It could happen on Arabia if you wall up. It'll look a little different. And we're going to be rocking the Magyars because they have 0 economy bonus. All right. So it's going to be like any civ you have that gets an economy bonus will do the boom better than Magyars. So this is like literally the worst case scenario for a boom. Also, what's cool about redoing this video is that the new market change makes booming harder because buying food is more expensive now. So redoing this guide is actually going to be very beneficial. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you guys some of the adaptations that I've made. All right, so starting off standard build. The builder I'm using, I actually have a tutorial about this one as well. It's basically the 24 +2 booming build order. All right, fast castle into boom. It's a very, very good one. You basically can't go wrong with it. It's the best way to play when it comes to your early game. And it's something I just highly recommend to everyone. You get castlage around minute 14, and then you're right away ready to do your 3 TC boom, which is incredible. And if you have any eco bonus on top of it, it's just gonna maybe let you get up a bit faster, or let you add your 4th DC a little bit faster, lets you develop faster, right? So this is like the worst case scenario for boom, and we're still hitting castlage 14 minutes. If you guys try without using this builder to try to freestyle it as a beginner player, you will 100% get a later castle time, and then this with a generic civ, 100%. So this is definitely the best way to go for it. All right, so we go 6 on cheap, and then we go for 2 or 3 on wood. It's really up to you. Let's go 3 on wood. It's not like a fast feudal, so you don't need to go 2 on wood. So if you guys want to get the build order, you can just pay attention here. It's completely for free. Just pay attention. If you guys want the color-coded PDF, I offer it to my Twitch subscribers through my Discord and also my Patreon supporters, and it's going to cost you $5 a month, but you can cancel anytime, and you get not just this build order, another 10 or 15 that I have color-coded PDFs, and I add 1 every month to that list. But again, I really want to emphasize that that's just for the people that want to support me further. If you guys can't and just want to have the video here, it's the exact same build. We're not hiding anything. It's just, you got to pay a bit more attention. But that's completely fine. So here I'm going to start luring my deer. In this builder, you have to lure all your deer, or else you're going to be up later. But that's completely fine, because luring deer in arena is usually quite easy. If you're a new player and you're having trouble with luring deer, don't stress too much about it. Just continue practicing. And just take your time with it. It doesn't really matter when your deer come in, because scouting on arena is not that important. I'm not going to say it's useless. It's not that important. So you can kind of take your time and scout with your deer. And the important concepts is really just not to kill too many animals at once. Like, this is like, the rule is like maximum 2 dead animals at the same time. That's like the general rule. Most top players are following this one. And there we go. We lured the boar. Another thing to mention here is that you don't need to kill the boar like I am killing the boar. It's like an advanced way to do it. You can just kill it with your villages like normal, but definitely make sure you are luring both boars to your town center. Gonna make the commentary as beginner friendly here, so if you guys are a bit more of an advanced player, you can probably still benefit from this video, even if you're an advanced player, by the way. We're gonna go through a lot of interesting details, but I'm gonna also keep my commentary catered towards the beginners, because I really want everyone to benefit from this video. It's the reason we're putting it on YouTube in the first place. All right. And so on this gen, I got 4 deer. On some gens of Arena, you only get 3. I'll make use of all 4 here, but just so you guys know, if you get 3 deer, it literally doesn't matter. It'll make it a little bit harder to get started on your boom, maybe. You might have a little bit more idle time, but then again, you probably have some eco bonus to boom most of the time. Like, I would say 85% of civs have some kind of eco bonus to help you out with the pure boom. All right, I pulled that number completely out of my ass, so I might be wrong on it, but it's very common to have some kind of bonus. All right, so it's not going to matter whether it's 3 deer or 4 deer in most cases. So we just bring in the boars. We have a good amount of villagers under our TC, so we can add a couple more towards wood. Usually I like to go to 7 on wood. I don't have the exact builder open, so I am winging it, but the exact builder will have like the perfect numbers. But I'm just going to wing it here. And then throw on like around 7 villas, I believe, is the number. Especially if you start with 3. If you start with 2, then you got to throw it up to 8. All right, you can probably even get away with 6. It really depends on what you want. And here you want to start adding in some farms. And you want to do this when you don't have an eco bonus. And the reason why we throw up some farms, by the way, it's very important. The reason why we throw up some farms here is because we want all of our villas under our TC to only eat 1 sheep. We don't want to eat multiple sheep at once, because that's going to create more rotting. And we burn through the sheep too quickly if we do that. So instead, we set up our situation here so that we only have, like, I think the number is 8 or 7. Yeah, 7, maybe 8 on 1 sheep. All right, and after the boar, you'll see how that works out. Last 2 villas will go to gold, and this is normal for any fast castle builder. You always get the last 2 villages on gold. And then I'm going to explain some really fun stuff here. If anything goes wrong in your builder, or if you have an eco bonus, this is the time where you want to think about that as you click up. And there's not much to do. Like, this is optimal gaming, hands up, right? There's not much to do. So think about, what you need to do. I need to make a market and a blacksmith in about a couple minutes. So do I have enough wood? I think I have enough wood. If you're in doubt, take 1 vill of food and throw it on a straggler tree. If you have some eco bonus where you have an extra 200 wood when you hit feudal age, right? Your Dravidians. I'm like, oh, okay. I probably don't need 7 on wood. So instead of sending 7, I'll just send like 5. And then keep 2 more, on food, on the berries, for example. These are the kind of things you want to think about. And this is the perfect time to think about it here. All right, but keep in mind, this is the bare bones builder. This will work with Magyars, so it'll work with literally any civ. And other civs will do it better. Well, to be fair, I'm doing it like near perfectly as far as like efficiency. So if you guys are a new player, it's not going to look as smooth for sure, but give it some practice and try to copy the things that I'm doing, try to learn from what I'm doing. And if you'll get your efficiency up, obviously, over time. Now let's talk about our market blacksmiths. So how do we make them? Usually I like to make them with the wood villagers, not to disrupt my food income. It doesn't really matter though. You should be able to, do them with pretty much any vill. So we're going to go ahead and use, in this case, our Berryville. So we'll just do market blacksmith on the front. Also, higher level stuff, you usually don't want them on the front because if you get castle drop, they die. And that sucks. And also, your opponent can scout that you're doing market blacksmith. So that's a mistake. These 2 vills will go to wood. And the reason why we send them to wood is very simple. We send them to wood because we want to get 3 TC start of castle age as soon as possible. And that requires a lot of wood. And as you can see, 800 food and 200 gold perfectly. These finish perfect timing. And we are up. Perfect on all departments here. Our sheep will finish. We're going to pick up double barracks right away. And we send them to straggler tree. And now we want to set up our economy with the purpose of making 3 TC. As you can see, the extreme AI is miles behind us. We are clicking up really quickly. It had only like 2-3 seconds of idle time, so pretty negligible. So here what I like to do is send a couple more to berries. Usually I like to have something like 6 on berries for a bit earlier so that they finish when castle age rolls around. All right, we get horse collar. And now I want to make a couple extra farms, but not too many more farms. Just a couple probably. And here's the interesting part. So in the past, with these 2 bills on gold, you were able to buy food at the price of 130. Now the food price is higher. So I think what you want to do is probably buy wood. And so to counteract that, we want to make a couple more farms here. And then just use the gold to buy the wood to be able to afford the 3rd TC. Or the farm upgrade, or the wood upgrade, whatever it is you need. So instead of buying food, I think you just want to buy wood. Alternatively, you can just wait and buy food as well. It's going to cost you 20 more gold, though, so you have to make that decision yourself. That is a change that came through. Before, the decision was easy. You just buy the food. Now, it's a little bit more complicated. But it's not a huge deal. I think it's still worth leaving the 2 bills on gold, because that gives you the flexibility to add a monastery to defend, siege workshop to defend, and it lets you use the market, which is good. So here we're going to go ahead and plan out our town centers. So this is how you do it. Use any villa you want. You just replace them. I took 2 villas off here. I just replaced them. Town center here, for example. And then I want a town center at the back. And then it's very natural. We're going to start off by picking up the wood upgrade. And we buy 100 wood to get it. Now you have a choice here. I really like getting the heavy plow. In fact, in the Patreon video, I did pick it up. And in this case, I will pick it up as well. And the reason I like to pick it up is because that means that your farms, the heavy plow farms, will not finish in early imp. This is a nice little secret for you guys. If you don't pick up heavy plow and you make horse collar farms, and you start booming 3TC with horse collar farms, your farms will all start running out in early imp. And an early imp is when we make all of our production buildings. And this is why getting heavy plow here is such a good thing for your boom. Now, in this case, I'm going to have some idle time to be able to get it, because Magyars are a horrible booming civ. So this is a concession I make. I have a little bit of idle time on my TCs to be able to pick up that heavy plow. The idle time is quite negligible. It's not a huge deal. So in my opinion, it's a worth it trade. However, some people might disagree, and some people might just prefer to keep the TCs running and not worry about that early imp timing right now. It's really your call, but I really think that this is the way to go from a personal standpoint. So the idle time is coming. Again, no worries. The idle time is strictly because we have a no eco bonus civ and we picked up heavy plow. But make no mistake, our economy is still in very good shape. And again, this idle time was very easy to deal with before because all you had to do was buy some food. But now the price for food is a little bit harder to come by. So the idle time will be a little bit more impactful. But in my opinion, it's still completely fine. And you know what? Even if you optimize this a little bit, send the berry villas on gold, might be a little bit easier to get that food in. But pretty solid. You can even pick up loom if you want to. I don't recommend it. I'd rather just tank the idle time. All right, and here we can buy either wood or just save up for food. I think in this case I'm gonna save up for food. We're almost there anyways, and then we can use one of our gold villas here in a second. All right, to make some houses, buy some food, and there we go. So no more idle time for the rest of the build order. That's it. We just had a minute, maybe a little bit more, not much more than that though. And that's to get heavy plow. Again, it's really your call, but now we have both eco upgrades, 3TC boom, and we want to continue making farms. Now, it is a good time. Why are we spamming farms? We're spamming farms to be able to sustain 3TC production. And then what we want to do is go ahead and sustain or grab the 4th TC. All right? So to do this, you want to either send those to gold or send those to stone and be able to buy that 4th TC up. All right? That's the next step. So this guy actually has to make a house before I get house. I think we got to spam one there. All right? So now we got to get onto stone or gold. I'm going to use the market to go ahead and grab us the 3rd TC. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead, the 4th TC. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and pick up wheelbarrow. Now, a little bit of human error here. And because of the idle time, I had to buy the food. If I didn't buy the food, I could have easily gotten the 4th TC here. But we're going to just fix this. Small human error. A bit late to gold. I had to buy the food. My bad. No problem. We'll fix it. And we just go ahead and sell 100 wood. And then we're going to just go ahead and save up to pick up that 4th TC. I just want to show you with this kind of setup here that even if you make a small mistake, as long as you know what you want to do, it's going to be so easy to fix that mistake and just adapt, you know, and account for it. So same thing here. I make a TC with 4 farmers. I replace the vills to keep the harmony. After wheelbarrow, right away get handcart. This upgrade is the most broken eco upgrade in the game. That wheelbarrow into handcart timing is going to completely change your life. You'll start dressing better after you start doing this, trust me. Now we just continue making the houses. Usually I like the house at the back instead of at the front, to be honest with you. But housing as a small wall is fine, but housing at the back just saves you a lot of space. And now we want to continue making farms. And it's at this point that we want to decide what army we want to make. I'm going to just assume we're going to go Paladin. And for Paladin, we need more farms and less wood. Because we only need wood for the stables. Everything else costs food and gold. If I want to go Heavy Cav Archer, I would cap out my farms around like 40. 40 farms for the 4 TCs to get Imperial Age and to get upgrades. But my unit will be costing wood and gold, and not food. So if I want to go cav archers with magyars, I would cap my farms and, around 40 and then transition off to other resources. It's also a really good time to start mining some stone here because we want to land a castle right around before we click up the imp or in imp to get conscription and to also get some trebs out, which is going to be a very key defensive tool and an offensive tool, the castle that is. So it helps you get trebs to attack, and also castle will help you defend, pick up conscription, all the good stuff. So starting to mine stone is a very logical thing to do, and we just continue our boom. Our next step is to go ahead and pick up our eco upgrades here at the mining camp. So now we're going to start ramping up our gold intake, and we're also going to ramp up our stone intake, so we can go ahead and pick up both of those techs. Stone one is more optional, but gold one is pretty much mandatory. And it's also a really good time to start thinking about relics if you want, and go for the monastery. We have to make the monastery anyway, because we're going to need monastery and university to click up to imp. So you might as well pick up relics if you need it. If not, a couple monks to defend is completely fine as well. There's nothing wrong with that. Alright, so now we continue booming. Again, I'll just make a few farms here. Place those vills. You can keep an eye on some of the techniques I'm using here to try to keep this efficient, right? It's not just making vills, I'm also watching how they're working, etc. Very, very important. Okay. Now my gold is ramping up, and my goal here is to have my gold and my food hit 1,000 food and 800 gold by the time this university finishes. So you want to have everything done at the same time. It's incredibly hard to do it perfectly, but that's the goal. So let's try to see how much I can do. So as you can see, I hit 1,000 food, and I'm still shy on gold. So we can just fix it by selling 100 food. And as soon as the university is made, we'll click up to imp. I want to really stress that this is not an optimized gameplay for me. This is not like a perfect boom. This is just a really well done boom. Something like a 9 out of 10 probably, as far as how you can do it. So there's still a lot of room for improvement. But my theory is that you're not going to get the perfect game every time. So I wouldn't stress about perfecting it. I'd really stress about the concepts, which I think is what lets you play consistently. And this is good enough. This is in a pro game. I'd definitely be able to carry with a situation like this. All right, so now it comes down to Imperial Age. As soon as you click up to Imperial Age, it's about transitioning to military. Your boom is complete. We don't want to wait till Imperial Age and then start. Oh, I need Paladin now. No, we're gonna plan ahead, and we're gonna do that by simply adding in a barracks. All right, getting our upgrades. I know exactly what I want to do. Nothing extra. I want to do Paladin. Ballistics is cool, but I don't really need that right now, so I'm not gonna waste res on that. All right. To a villager at the back making houses. This is just a good habit to have. Alright. And now we start with our paladin. As far as where you make the stables, I recommend you make them inside your base. And I recommend you don't make them near your gate, so you have like a really nice path to walk out. And don't make them at the back, because you want your back to be farmed. So it has to be like the middle / front of your base. And if you want to hide them, then don't make them on the front. This is like a real world scenario. And we're going to go ahead and pick up the upgrades. In this case, I'm Magyar, so I don't need the attack upgrades. The one bonus I get, yay. We'll take it. And as you can see, we have enough for a castle. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up a castle. And now you might be thinking, oh, I've completed the boom. Let's stop making all kinds of villagers. We'll just stop. We're going to focus on military now. Wrong. We continue making villas to 200 pop. And I'll show you the perfect harmony this is going to hit. We're going to converge at 200 pop with 50 paladin, 50 knights around, and around 150 vills. It's going to happen at the same time, maybe 155, 160 vills. And the reason why this is perfect is that the extra vills we have will be used to secure res outside. And if we lose those extra vills, it doesn't matter. They're going to pay back so fast. It's only 50 food. And at this rate, I have so much food that I don't care if I lose a little bit of food here and there. And this is the last cool trick that I have for the booming. Once you have a lot of vills in your, in your base and you have a solid farmland, Shift Q or select all your TCs and put the gather point on 1 gold outside to funnel the vills outside your base and to expand your territory in a very clean and effective way. And now you want to start getting your upgrades. You can freely use the market to sell or balance out as much as you want and get your conscription going. And this is exactly how you transition that boom into military. As you expand to get other golds, again, all my TCs are going out here. You can also start expanding with more stables, maybe another castle, whatever it is that you need. You can start balancing out. We need less wood and actually, more on stone for more castles. So we'll do that. Less wood here, more farms. Finish up that farm space. Brilliant. And we can keep spamming our knights. And again, gold is really important. That's why we're going to push out. My opponent has the relic victory. Nice. Smart play. And we're going to go ahead and push out. And this is the perfect example of a boom into transition into army. And look at like 30 minutes, 160 pop. If you're not hitting times like this, and again, you could do it way better with other civs, like just for the record, right? If you're not hitting times like this, you will get rolled by a guy who is. I can't make that farm. That's crazy. Can't even click it. There. You will get absolutely rolled by a guy who is. Alright. After this gets full, you just expand here. And again, these vills, I don't care if they die. Why? Because I have 120 vills in my base. I have 120 vills. I can sell some wood. Again, because Paladin's gold hungry, you gotta sell a bit more. Alright. And take a look at when I hit 200 pop. We called this from a long time ago. 150 villagers and 50 military at 31 minutes and a half. Like, we literally called it. It's exactly as I mentioned. 150 vills and 50 military. It's absolutely perfect. And now we just go ahead and pick up our Paladin tech. You can get it early in a real game. It's whatever. But just to show you how much resource flow we have. And now we go for the push. We can go for Trebs if you want it. We have fully upgraded Cavalier, soon to be Paladin. And now these villagers that are outside your base, you can just transition this all into aggression. You can take those villas and look to take the extra resources on the map. This is how you carry games. Alright? This is literally how you carry games. So Paladin's coming in. Probably fighting now is not the right call, but whatever. It's AI. We take the fights. And now, because you're expanding on the map, Town Watch Loom is also good, by the way. I should get this a bit earlier. Because you're expanding on the map, you want to start thinking of next step. Castles need fletching. Ballistics chemistry is good. Solid. We want to secure more gold because Paladin's super gold hungry. So go ahead and pick some of those up. If I wanted relics, I would have picked them up earlier with my monastery, or I can just try to kill him, take his relics soon. Trebs could come out now. And if I need a transition, I work on it now. I get Bodkin, maybe Skirms. I can get armor after I get Bracer. I work on that transition. And so as you can see, it's a really good transition from booming into military. And then from my first unit into my second unit, I'm transitioning from one to the next to the next. Everything flows perfectly. And you don't do one thing at a time. You do multiple things at the same time. You get that 150 Vil plus 50 army setup. And that's like the power spike with Paladin. And again, now you stay at 150 Vils. I'm not 200 pop. I can't sustain Paladin at less than 150 Vils. And I'm going to stockpile resources to then enable a skirm transition or enable some extra tech at the university. So this extra, this extra res that I've got built up is actually perfect at finishing this game. And if, now we start taking Hussar, gold is running a bit low. And if I feel like, okay, I need more military, just delete 10 Vils. It's going to cost you what? 10 Vils, 500 food? I'm already floating food. It doesn't matter. You can start adding in more stables if you don't need that tech transition. If the Paladin did it, if it's enough, then, you're fine. Go ahead. Spam that gates. Continue to break your opponents. And by the way, this Extreme AI, if you're a beginner player, the Extreme AI is around 1,000 to 1,100 elo. And in a pure boom scenario, maybe even like 12 or 1,300 elo. If you do this kind of thing and hit the same timing as I am, you will literally carry your arena games like no other. And you're going to start climbing elo 100%. It's just a guarantee. Because I don't need skill to run Paladin into my opponent's base. You know what I mean? It's not a hard thing to do. Alright, now you get the extra tech like I talked about. Siege Engineers might be actually a bit more relevant. Paladin go in. He's got the Relic Victory. We're just going to chop that down. And we're going to finish the game with a castle in his mouth with the 4 vills that we already have here because we contested the resources on the front. And this is exactly why everything plays a role. Everything we did plays a role this game. Alright. Relics down. Now we can take those ourselves. We still have some gold. I pick up Hussar just in case. There we go. Continue spamming. And again, you have options. Skirmisher transition, halb transition. Whatever you need, you can do. You've got 150 Vils to set that up. And if you lose some Vils, it's fine. You can remake them. You have 120 behind your walls. You can actually expand here and start taking some of this, some of these minerals. And I just want to show you just how much control you have over the game when you go for this kind of boom into pressure. We can get hoardings. Castles are really, really strong. And then once I get this monastery up, I'm just going to delete these forward bills. Alright? Makes more space for military because now I'm floating some res. And I want to really finish my opponents off. If it's a team game, you would have started trade around this moment or a bit earlier maybe. So you could continue sustaining Paladin instead of Hussar. And we're just going to go ahead and finish off the AI here. And I'll think if there's anything else worth mentioning. Again, I already prepared the scrum transition just to show you guys it's all possible. You can afford everything. Alright. Yeah, last thing to mention, outposts on the sides are very, very good in this kind of scenario. For the same purpose. For the purpose of just finishing the game and catching expansion. This is good in both 1v1 and team games. This build is good for both 1v1 and team game. Although in 1v1 they might try to disrupt you a bit more. With like forward castles and whatnot. Usually team game you get more of a free boom. And there we go. 5 relics, slurp them up. And it's absolute domination. You can go ahead and pick up town patrol if you want to. This upgrade, I used to hate on it, but it's not the worst. It's only 100 gold. In team game it's probably more justifiable. And take a look at the vision you get from the outposts as well. Alright, this guy can make a tower. Pick up guard tower, why not? Just going to show you just how many options you have. Perfect. And at this point, we can just Black Death you. Oh. Because he's stalling out the game, and he's completely dead. And I talked about everything I want to talk about anyway. He's booming in the corner. He's going to go for the comeback. Yeah, that's going to be pretty much it. This is the booming builder. Pretty much all the secrets. Didn't hold anything back. Magyar's tutorial. If you guys do like this kind of content, this kind of long format, in-depth content, definitely check out my Patreon and check out all the other videos. We got dozens of videos, dozens and dozens of videos, very similar to this. Some way more advanced than this. This is like the most beginner one. I have videos on how to play faster, how to multitask, how to micro. I have videos on what else do I have? I have how to win the game, the best way to win games, to close them out. I have so many videos there that are in-depth 30, 45-minute tutorials that's going to take your game to the next level. So you guys are interested in that, link in the description for Patreon. And it's a good way to support me, probably the best way to support me. And I really enjoy making those content and help you guys out. As a guy that aspired to be a teacher, I get to teach now Age of Empires, which is the best case scenario. But quickly, last thing before we end the video, take a look at the castle times. This is perfect, 10:30 feudal. Castle age time, I think the perfect one is 14 minutes. I think I had 3 seconds of idle time. And then imperial time is whatever. I think you can hit a little bit earlier. Main thing though is that 31 minutes, fully upgraded, 200 pop at 31 minutes it was, and that's 50 military, 150 vills. It's the perfect setup, and it leads to games like this where you just absolutely carry. And it's gonna feel so good, especially if you're playing with friends or playing on team ranked or whatnot, to carry those games and to be able to be in this position. This is the most fun part about Age of Empires, you know what I mean? And this is what I want you guys to get out of your games. It sucks when you're falling behind and you don't have enough economy to make the army, or you have all the economy but you're not sure how to get the army or when to get it, and you miss the timing and you get snowballed and you have so much res you just can't spend it. Those are all frustrating moments. I hope this video can put all that information together in a beautiful way to get you to boom properly, then transition to military at the same time, and then land that perfect ratio of economy to military and let you get outside on the map and secure those extra res to actually snowball and carry the games and be that monster on your team or that monster in 1v1. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Like, comment, subscribe. Once again, check out Patreon if you guys want some more of this kind of content. And check out my Twitch live stream, link in description for both of those. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.